Hi, everybody. This is Vincent Paterson, and I am so happy to be on this incredible show, Verbal Shenanigans, with two amazing guys, Scott and Mike. Tune in.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to the Verbal Shenanigans podcast. Coming off a hot one with Porter McKnight, our friend from Atreyu. Got some good feedback on the Porter interview. Just a really nice guy. A lot of people were. We put up a clip about his story about the wine glass going into the singer's arm and almost killing him in front of his kids and stuff like that. A lot of people were pretty blown away by that story.
Positive stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what people look for.
We've all been waiting for it to happen to you, but, we're still
of all the stories that I've told, it's bound to happen. It's more, I feel like we should get on DraftKings and figure out the over-under of when it will occur to Birdloo, It's like the age is 52 and a half, or under.
But yours wouldn't happen by accident. Like, you wouldn't stumble and knock a wine glass over. You'd be like, oh, I was trying to make a funny video to show you of me, like, reenacting the the story Porter told, and I accidentally did it. I am bleeding out currently.
I believe I've told on the show before my accidental suicide story, so...
well, you should.
All right. The way you're reacting, it sounds like story time. Yeah,
always.
Yeah. So, this was early on when I was dating my future ex. She was in the bathroom getting ready. I forget where we were going out, and I was doing the dishes. And as I'm doing it, a glass falls down and breaks. So my first thing is I'm going to reach down and pick up the loose glass. What I didn't see was there was a knife and it was sticking up edgewise from another area. So when I went to grab the broken glass, it hit me, and it hit me like right in this area that I'm showing you, which is like the major vein artery kind of thing. And it starts bleeding.
Uh-huh.
So I go in the bathroom because she's a nurse, and I'm like, babe, and she's like, da 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 da, and I'm like, babe, I think I accidentally committed suicide. And then she just looks at me. She's like, that's not even to get out of here. And then that was the end of the story.
Now, let me ask you, was this one of the knives that you leave around the house for your victims, quote unquote?
No, it was a regular steak knife for meat cutting instrument possibilities.
Is that what you call it? Meat cutting instrument possibility. That's what you call your murder habit.
Yeah, no, it's not a murder. It's a regular steak knife. And just so it's like somebody comes over and like, oh, I'd like a steak. I don't want to be rude and be like, I don't know how you're going to cut it because I have my meat cutting instrument operational.
Well, you texted me earlier. You sent me a funny story about your dad trying to get you to the doctor like 4 hours early or something like that.
Yeah. So 2 days from now, I'm having a procedure, and I have to be there at like 1:30. The procedure's at 2:30. They want me there an hour early, I guess, for paperwork prep, all that fun stuff. So, my dad's very, very much likes to keep track and doesn't like to be late and stuff like that. So he was pinging me, when do you want me here? Want me here? So I'm like, all right. I looked at the thing. I looked at where the hospital is at. It's 20 minutes away. They want me there at 1:30. 12:45 should be perfect for that. And he replies within the minute, so do you want me to show up at 11:10?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I believe 12:45 should be playing. That would mean I'd be there about 25 minutes early or something to that math.
Right.
And he's like, well, it's your choice and all, but I think it's kind of close. And it's it's one of those, it's like, it's not an international flight.
Yeah.
It's a medical procedure. There's, I mean, granted, they're going to rip some baggage out of me, but I'm not claiming any of this baggage.
Is this where you finally revealed to the audience that you'll be transitioning next week?
No, we went through the whole AJ thing. Yeah, we stopped that a long time ago. So you know why repeat things and all? I mean, Dominic Bagnano will be like, "You guys aren't original like you used to be."
Yeah. Well, this could be, you know, some people might say this is like a midlife crisis. Like you're going through a breakup and you're like, screw it. I'm going to try the other side of things. I'm going to try the lady side of this life.
Yeah, but I mean, I still like ladies, and I don't think I pull off the lesbian look good enough. That's my first thought. Like, if I transition, it's like it's not like the hot, like Skinamax lesbian couple. It's the like, oh.
Okay. Now, I figured you're going into the hospital, and I thought it'd be fun to, the other week, maybe a month ago, something like that, we told a story about a man who, for the second time on the podcast, we've told the story about a man having a World War I believe, artillery shell in his anus, and the whole hospital had to shut down. Now, I took it upon myself, Mike, to look at some things that doctors had found inside of people this last year. Okay, would you care to hear some of these items?
I want more retro anus items. I want like 94 anus items. I don't want last year's.
Compare them.
That was the best year, man. We had the best music and we had the best anus items.
Well, I'm not just going to give you.
College was great.
I'm not going to go straight for the bum. I'm going to work our way up to different body parts and end with what was found inside the rectums of some of these people. Okay. Let's start with your favorite, Mike, the penis.
It's a classic.
Okay, so all these reports were taken from the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, a database of emergency room visits. All descriptions are verbatim, and all entries below are involved in some very poor decisions. Okay.
Before you continue, as like an IT guy, I could just fathom the meeting where they're like, "All right, our network is down. Do you have a backup of the anal object database readily available?" And all we got a meeting to go to. It's not our fault. The network is down. So where's the backup at?
Yeah. All right, Mike. So let's start with the old piece of tune here. Okay. Like you said, the 80s, the 90s were better, but these days people are sticking AirPods up there.
I mean, if you think about, that sounds like a beginner item. It seems like the correct size, no huss and fuss. It's got a wire. So if it's like, no, I don't like it, you could pull it back quickly.
AirPod doesn't have a wire.
This is the 90s.
Oh, the 90s.
Again.
Gotcha.
That's the problem. We go wireless. Well, how are we getting our earbuds back, huh? We gotta wait till somebody's done. Then it's in the water. We gotta hope it's waterproof.
Yeah. Do you think the AirPod is still on? Like it's still playing music through the dong?
Like that's an interesting thing. And like, what is it? Like, what's the sensation and all? Do you want like a deep bass song thumping through there?
Definitely, dude.
Well, I don't. Again, we're talking about beginners and experts here.
Yeah.
Like this is like the third date. Hey, let's try something. I don't think you want like Thunderstruck going through those AirPods.
No, I want like that old like percolator techno song. Like it's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator. Like deep bass, because maybe we're already off the rails here, but maybe it would cause a certain gland to open up and shoot the AirPod out.
That's an interesting thought. I think we should come up with our top 10 lists of songs and then nonstop try to get the bands on the show for our final question.
I thought you were going to say take our top 10 songs and put an AirPod in our penis and play them and see what is the best sensation.
Yeah, you think you know so much, I think Thunderstruck would whoop Percolator, but you're little, I'm not sure if I'm going to like this kind of thing.
Okay. Well, here's a classic one that probably worked in the 90s, the old pen cap, Mike, an old pen cap in the P. Okay. Probably a classic. I'm sure you were messing around with that in the 90s.
Pick in the prick. Yep.
And then, of course, once you go from the pen cap, you got to do the pen. Several pens were found inside of there. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's very awkward when you steal like that bank pen, and then it's got all the beads at the end of it. And I mean, it gives you a little extra, but again, it gives you the option to pull back in that scenario.
All right. What do you think about a coffee stirrer? A little coffee stirrer, those little brown or red straws you get to twirl your coffee around?
I think it would look cute poking out of there.
Ew, man.
I got something frothy from Starbucks for you.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say for our new listeners, we're generally pretty clean on this show.
Yeah.
But I guess we're
welcome to Cookie Monster Radio Podcast Network.
All right. How about a screw, Mike? A screw.
See, that sounds like damage is about to come. I don't like. Do you have like the that plastic screw protector that sometimes you put into the wall and then screw in? Yeah, like maybe if you start with anchor. That and then put the screw in, it would be fine.
All right. A paper clip, a wax straw. Okay. A 4-inch metal tube. I don't know. Now, I don't know the girth of the metal tube, but I'm assuming it's not pleasant. Okay. Now, here's where we get a little interesting. Okay. So these were normal items we can picture. Now you have to, I'll try to paint the picture. I'll paint this mosaic for you to picture in your mind. Okay. On the medical report, it said took a piece of plastic coated paper from a milk container, rolled it tightly, wrapped it up with tape to the size of greater than a crayon, and inserted it as far as could into his penis several hours ago.
Like they're doing MacGyver stuff to shove something up there, man. What we had all these simple answers before, and you got to come up with this crazy. Like that's somebody who had time and just keeps staring at his object and just be like, I could do so much more than what everybody else does with theirs.
Oh, it gets great here. A handle of a plastic spoon, a plastic fork, glue. You want to clog that hole up. You fill it with glue. A rolled up magazine page. Okay, a rolled up magazine page.
Wow.
A ring from a Powerade bottle. This one got me, man. A domino.
I could.
Why don't you show the audience how it's done?
I'm looking down there and I'm trying to. I mean,
now hear me out. We're always looking for new content, right? We've been talking about different things, okay, to try to get more engagement outside of the podcast. What about Burlew tries, and then each week it's a different one of these items?
Okay, so
work your way up to domino.
I feel the money one is going to be the glue. Like I'll hold on to a piece for a very while, and it'll look like a big water balloon, and I'll helicopter it around and show it to the audience.
Helicoptering it around?
Well, it's a big balloon. What else am I going to do with it, man? Well, I'm just going to walk around with that water jug on me?
Yeah. Okay. And the last two were a phone charging cable, if you want to charge that thing up, and a thermometer. So that was the items in the old male private parts. Okay.
All right.
A lot of them you could see the shape, how it would get in there. A couple, like the ring from a Powerade bottle.
That's very specific. Like,
yes.
Do you think Powerade paid for the advertising for that? Like maybe it was just like a regular they just went to like the newspapers as a tab, and like the big execs at Powerade had a meeting. It's like, wait, this is an advertising opportunity, and like brought the guy in for a commercial.
Yeah. Now, everyone says men are creeps, right? Men are creeps, but we can't forget about our lady friends. Okay, now let's determine. Okay,
Hey, ladies.
ladies have a whole different type of way to insert things. Let's go through some of the things that were found inside the vagina. Okay,
Ooh.
all right, Mike.
What's in the vagina? That's a theme song for a bit.
I mean, it works. A plastic cube. A plastic cube. Okay.
Boring.
Okay, we'll work our way up. A shot glass.
Okay. A little spicy, but we'll put that in the mild section. And we're not to the hottest level of Buffalo Wild Wings.
No. A bobby pin.
Nah.
Yeah, okay. Right. I knew this would bore you a little bit. All right, let's step it up a little bit. A statue. A statue.
I mean, what type of statue are we talking about?
I don't know.
Is that how Ichiro's bat broke? It's like before they revealed it, the girl's like, hold on, give me 2 more minutes.
Yeah. All right. A plastic triceratops.
Ooh.
Now, I could appreciate that they named that they didn't say plastic dinosaur. They gave us the specific species of dinosaur.
Yeah, I mean, you got to know if it's like a pterodactyl or one of those others, like Brontosaurus. It's like, whoa, this girl's a veteran. But
see, I think the opposite. I think Triceratops is the veteran, because the Brontosaurus, you're starting with a shape that they're familiar with. The Triceratops has 3 horns on its head, on that big rectangular head of his.
I guess the question is, how far do we go? Because the Brontosaurus has more rigid edges at the middle of the back, so then that would be the advantage. If it's like we gotta call this doctor, are we getting quarter dinosaur, half dinosaur, full dinosaur?
That's true. Just the head all the way to the tail. That's a big difference.
These are important stuff that we need to know as a community.
All right. A toy fire truck. An egg. Okay. A patient reports partner was wearing an enhancement apparatus that became stuck following intercourse. Okay. So this was something that the guy and the girl must have been, working on here. A spork. Okay. A bar of soap, Mike. Now, was this what you intended when you started your soap business?
No. I mean, it was to provide soap to the masses and let them decide what to do with it. Now, if they choose to put in orifices, I will understand. It is my gift to you, so you can do as you feel fit.
It does have your DNA in your soap, though. Is there a possibility that someone received your soap and was so infatuated with you, they're like, maybe I can make a Burloo baby by throwing this soap in there?
Well, we're going to have to wait till Dom and Harry comes in for the next game to answer that question. But it's basically the 4 of us that have with the Burloo DNA. My parents have non-Burloo DNA. So
deodorant. A perfume bottle.
Okay.
Here's one I like.
Good.
Here's 3 I'm going to give you.
Okay.
A pencil.
All right.
2 pencils.
Oh.
1 pencil sideways.
Oh my God. Man, I gotta check out a movie. I don't know how it gets in there sideways. Like, do they put it at an angle and bring it in sideways?
Dude, I don't know.
You're the one that came up with this bit. I was looking for information. I thought you were the bastion of knowledge when it came to shoving stuff up there.
Yes, that's how people refer to me. They call me often like, hey, I got a question. How did the deodorant get up?
Yeah. Is the bastion of knowledge of shoving stuff up there here today?
All right, the bastion of knowledge. Okay,
well, we got part of our title.
Yeah, I know. Yep. All right, this is where we get it steps it up a little bit. A knife. Okay, doesn't sound
dangerous, but
a spoon. Okay. A dry erase marker. Okay. Mike, a curling iron.
Yeah, I guess as long as it's not turned on, I have no issues technically. I mean, if you can handle the heat, I mean, what am I to say? But
Who am I to judge?
Yeah. What do you mean don't unplug it?
This one might be my favorite on the list. Well, there's a bunch here. A bag of soil. A bag of soil, Mike.
Like what we get from Home Depot, or did they get like a Ziploc bag and start spooning it in? And
again, the Bastion doesn't quite know these answers, but
what kind of Bastion are you?
I don't know if the bag was shaped to be something or it was just a straight up bag of soil on sale, and they're like, "This looks like a good idea."
This sounded very white trash. You know, it's like, "Oh, you're horny. Give me a second." You just scooping it in like coffee into a filter or something like that.
Maybe she wanted somebody's seed.
Oh, dang.
Oh man. This was the note on one of them: was roughhousing with her husband, who lifted her up and accidentally dropped her on a hot dog cooker.
There's a lot of steps to that.
Yeah. I'm thinking hot dog cooker, like one of those roller things you have at 7-Eleven, right? Like that's what I think of.
Like, where they had a picnic when this happened? They had the ball game.
Keys, Mike. You ever lose your keys in someone's vagina?
I can't say I have and all, but dare to dream.
Yeah. A candle, a climbing peg, a microchip, and a finger puppet, Mike. A finger puppet.
Okay, I mean, I gotta be honest. The men won this category.
Okay, all right. I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, I feel they are going for the more interesting and dangerous stuff, whereas the ladies are they're just there for show. I don't know what to tell you. Outside of the hot dog machine,
dude,
and the bag of sideways,
the bag of soil. Come on.
It's inventive, but I still look at it as like white trash and all. Like it, I can't imagine like as I eventually go out into the dating world, as the girl's like, "I got something for you," and she just gets a Ziploc bag and just starts piling dirt in there. It's like I may not go back for the next.
You haven't been on the market in several years. Maybe this is what's out there.
I know my worth, and my worth is better than a bag of soil sex.
Okay, so we got the men, we got the women, and now, Mike, we get to the MVP of the show, the rectum. Okay. Now you've heard stories forever. The people have been inserting things into their rectum for God knows long. They even made a Seinfeld episode, where Fusilli Jerry goes into Kramer's bum, and it's always one in a million.
That was the father.
The father, yeah.
George's father.
Father, yeah. 1 in a million, right? Everyone says, and that's how you a shotgun shell. Artillery shell in your bum, So let's go to the rectum, Mike. Now, I'm curious, during your procedure, is there any chance of them finding any of these weird things in you?
We will do an inventory check.
Okay. A patient stated that him and his wife got carried away and a portion of a plastic screwdriver handle was stuck in his rectum.
No, that would not be. I mean, as we have documented on the show, I'm not the greatest with tools. Now, granted, if plastic screwdriver was up my bum, that'd be more evidence I don't know how to use tools. But alas,
Hank, do you have needle nose pliers and some Vaseline?
Boy, I'll fix your damn fence, but I ain't going to touch that.
I ain't touching your rectum, boy. All right, Mike. How about an xylophone mallet?
That's very specific. I would imagine drumsticks would be in there, but xylophone, that you had a very special man or lady there.
A foam ball, a nice foam ball. Kind of boring.
I mean,
kind of boring.
I mean, maybe like you give it a stress in different ways and all. It's not enough just to squeeze it in your hand. You just squeeze it in other areas to release stress.
Your cheeks.
I had so much pressure it went in. I don't know what happened, doctor.
Virgil, what are you doing in your chair over there? I'm stressed.
Jim, stress.
A 12-inch ratchet extender. Okay. 12-inch ratchet extender. A cylindrical wooden block. Okay. Cooking spray, Mike.
Just the spray or the container?
I'm assuming like the container of like Pam or whatever the spray is. You can't just spray. I mean, I guess you could just load it up with the actual spray itself.
Yeah, that's a very boring doctor. This is the most amazing thing I've seen in an anus.
Yeah. Of course, we have sex toys. That's
Blah. Been there, done that.
Shampoo bottle, lotion bottle,
All right.
can of deodorant, a plastic bottle with the bottom cut off. Okay.
That'd be too much, the bottom.
This person complained of ankle, abdominal, and neck pain after jumping off a second floor balcony, a foreign body in their rectum. Now, do you think they were trying to get the thing out, or did they jump onto the thing? Like they're going for extreme.
Like they just run into houses that are on fire and they just jump out hoping to land on somebody. That's their plan all along.
We got a broomstick. We have shoved a bag containing 20 hydroxyzine pills into his rectum. Street cred. I don't know what hydroxyzine is, though.
I mean, I guess it's a step up from soil. I don't know.
All right, Mike. Would you rather? I'm giving you three options here. Would you rather 3 AAA batteries in there,
Okay.
2 AA batteries, or 1 D battery? Because these are all found up there.
Yes, I would go with the 3 AAAs, considering they could move around. You know what I mean?
So you're
If
just
you have the
putting
one
them in there. You're putting them in there like a Pez dispenser, like.
I thought this was like all at once kind of category, like a rubber band around the batteries.
Okay. See,
That's my thought process. That like, all right, they're in there, but maybe they can move around and
I think
keep
I'd
it
opt for
comfortable. I think a D would just be constant pressure. And I don't want that. I have enough stress. That's why there's a ball up there.
I think I'd go with the D because it's one item. The other ones can start to spread and go up there somewhere. I don't know.
I guess the question more entails, is it like 3 going up together as one, like connected or glued together, or
I think the real question is, what the hell?
why are we debating this?
Why are we doing this to ourselves? Okay, couple more, Mike. This man tried to remove poop with a pen a few days ago, but lost the pen in his rectum.
Okay, I mean, maybe not the best poop reliever, but all right.
A 50-cent piece. Okay, I guess
That's good money.
Yeah, a scrub brush. Has a plastic baby bottle up her rectum. Patient states that she and her male partner were getting kinky. Okay.
I should hope. If it's well, what happened? Normal stuff.
Now, this is interesting. We have a wire hanger, an enema bottle. I could see how that could happen. Okay.
All right. 2
plastic bottles and a shot glass. Now, Mike, we might have some answers here. The tail of a toy dinosaur. The tail.
Oh.
So maybe the tail is of the Triceratops.
Yeah,
goes in
that
one end.
makes. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like maybe like a plastic one you could fold in, so the head can go up the one orifice, and then the tail can go up the other orifice.
So like maybe the Triceratops is doing all sorts of work.
That's how you have proper love making, everyone, and all for girls who love dinosaurs.
All right. Patient states he tripped in the shower and fell backwards and landed on a shampoo bottle, which became lodged in his anus. It's always a fall. It's always a fall. Patient states he slipped and fell in the bathtub, landing on a shark toy, a toy shark in the rectum. A cigarette lighter, a toothbrush holder. Took clonazepam dose 3 times instead of once, and has a battery in rectum and has nausea.
That's a lot of info right there. And I was still looking up hydroxyzine, antihistamine used to treat anxiety, tension, an allergic skin reaction. So he had an itchy butthole. That's why.
Why would that give him street cred?
I mean, maybe like all the boys on the streets got that itchy skin. He's like, yo,
Okay.
not me.
A light
I'm a
bulb,
Crip.
a broken light bulb, okay, a bottle of GHB, a board game piece, a metal toilet paper holder, a motorized tire pump, inserted in the rectum and was insufflated for a duration of approximately 5 minutes. Marbles, darts, a plastic lemon, a fake banana, a Jello mold, and finally, obviously, a bunch of sex toys. Mike, that is the year that happened just last year. So I guess that was 2025's last year's butt stuff.
Okay. Go back to the board game piece.
Mm-hmm.
You have to shove one up there. Where are you going?
What board game?
Any piece from any board game. It's
All right, I got it. I'm just going to go a pawn. Yeah, I'm a pawn. Nice round. I feel like it's small. You can get in there and just maybe not do total carnage. I'm not putting a rook or a knight up there.
Okay. You're a little more generous. I'll just take the thimble for the Monopoly board, and I'm a beginner. I'm a sensitive type. You gotta romance me before we go into rooks and stuff.
You don't want to put the little boot from Monopoly up there.
It's got the little tail there. That might be nice. That is true. No, woo, pass go.
Oh well. Now that we did our job of plummeting the podcast, we now have to bring it back. And God bless the person who has to follow that. But I think we've done a good job here where people should tune into this, man. Mike, who we got?
Scott, we have a director, a choreographer who has done choreography for Broadway. He has done it for major motion pictures like Evita. He has done countless music videos that you have saw, such as Thriller, Beat It, various Madonna projects like Truth or Dare. He has cultivated a visual scene for everybody to enjoy. He has a book that tells all his stories of his adventures as a choreographer. It's called Icons and Instincts. Tonight we are talking with Mr. Vincent Paterson.
Has he performed in the theater?
He has been in the theater very much.
Let's get Vincent Paterson on the line.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, Vincent, how's it going?
It's doing okay. I'm getting over some knee surgery, and it takes a minute, but things are pretty good. How both are you?
I promise you, Vincent, this will be way worse than the knee surgery.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure it will be. I listened to this podcast, man. I'm expecting the worst.
Yeah. Let me caveat this for our audience. So we had an original scheduled date to do this interview, and you contacted me and you said, hey, I'm coughing, did a test, I got COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm having major foot surgery coming up after this. And also during that time, I'm going through a messy separation right now.
Oh, that's not good.
So my first question to you, Vincent, is what do we want to wish on to Scott so we all feel good together tonight?
Oh,
That's not
well,
fair, man. That's not
Scott
fair.
looks like he's a little unhappy now anyway. So there you
Okay,
go.
so hear me out. I got my voodoo doll here. You just
I
point to
love
the
it.
spot where I should start poking and get him.
Oh, let me see.
I don't like
How
this.
We can do the back end as well.
I don't-
how about
The options are endless.
How about on the ass somewhere?
All right.
A little
Scott?
smack on the ass. There you go.
Take that.
Oh,
buddy.
God.
There you go. But listen, I got to tell you guys, I have a dear friend. She's an amazing singer up in Blaine, Washington. Her name's Shanna Manning, and her band is called Shenanigans. And I just,
all right.
when I told her I was going to do this with you guys, she was like, how cool is that? So I just wanted to share that. You know?
That's great.
That's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
had to push the foot surgery because somehow something happened and I tore the meniscus in my left foot and my left knee. So that's why I had the knee surgery, and then I'm going to have the foot surgery in June. But who wants to talk about their illnesses, you know?
Now, was this a a recent injury, or was this like
Oh yeah.
the result of all the years of doing things? And
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm an old guy, and I started dancing when I was 24 years old, and that
yep.
was old. That's old for a dancer. So,
Hmm.
and I did it for, I stopped dancing really professionally a long time ago, but I still kept doing it and choreographing stuff. And so, I
Sure.
kept it up and kept it up and kept it up. And then, but at some point, your body just falls apart,
Yep.
All the organs are great, all that stuff's good, but the bones, man, the bones are falling apart. Yeah.
So talk about those like early days as you were like doing dancing. What separates, hey, I'm a pretty good dancer to, hey, I could be a performer and be on stage and do that kind of dancing?
Well, to be honest, talent, that's the first thing, It's about can you do it or can you not? It's a little bit different than acting, so to speak, because you know what? You can fake it a bit as an actor because, the way they shoot a little scene, then they shoot a little scene, then they shoot a little scene. But when you're a dancer, and I'll just talk about that part first. When you're a dancer, it's like being a musician. So, you have to have that ability. You can't, somebody says play the drums, you got to play the drums. Play the piano, you got to play the piano. So learn this choreography as a dancer, you better learn it or there you're out of there. So that's the first thing. And I think it takes, there's when I was dancing, I did it just on a whim because I'd been an actor and I'd been a director and I was never doing anything physical. I was really out of shape. And I wandered by this ballet studio one time, and I opened the door, and there was ballet music, and the lady came over and said, "What do you want?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I need some exercise. Can I do something like this?" And she goes, "Well, we don't really have adult classes, but you can come and take with these beautiful girls. They're 12 to 16." And I said, "Okay, that's fine for me." So that's how I started, and I got addicted real quick. So I think I think it's about the passion and the talent and yeah, just being a good person once you get in the room because people don't want to work with people that are a pain in the ass. So
Do you think that starting late and kind of not being brought up in that like traditional setting actually turned out to be an advantage for you because like you had a very unique, style and you worked with artists and you had a very unique way that you did things. Like, was that part of it? Do you think? Like, do you think if you were kind of like quote unquote indoctrinated by the classic way to do things, maybe you wouldn't have been as creative?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with my childhood and growing up. I had a dad who was not a great dad, and my mom's was only 18 and a half years older than me, and I was the eldest of five kids. So I had to be really independent. I had a lot of responsibility from the beginning, and we were very, very poor.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to make all the decisions myself. Nobody ever helped me with school. Nobody helped me with getting to college, all those things that I wanted to get away from that place where I grew up because
Right.
it was very backward. It was along the Delaware River with all the oil refineries. And I just wanted to do something else with my life. I didn't know what. But I think there's something about that independence that I had from such a young age, which made me understand early on that if I wanted to achieve and be successful in anything, I had to work my ass off to do it because nobody else was going to help me. So I think I think that led me to be brave in a lot of situations that maybe I would not have been had I grown up in a better, or, well, I won't say better, different environment.
Right.
So, yeah.
So one of your bigger breaks was you were assistant on Beat It. You played the one of the gang leaders on there. Kind of talk about when you get this job, where are we at with music videos? Has it got to we have cable, this is an amazing opportunity? Is it still like this is a new kind of thing of Play-Doh that we're playing around with? Did you know what it was going to be?
Oh no, man! This was the very beginning of everything that had to do with music videos. I mean,
Yep.
we're always, as you know, we're always used to listen to the music as music, never connected it to any kind of imagery, unless it's maybe some television show or a movie musical or something like that. But certainly not short form and something that's contemporary and appeals to a younger audience predominantly. So getting involved with it at the beginning was really really interesting because it was a lot more experimental. You could do things that maybe later on weren't there was no precursor to this. So there were no rules yet. So that was the fun, to be involved with some of these major players who didn't want to play by the rules. They kept saying, no matter what it was, whether you're dancing or whether you're choreographing or directing for them, do something the world's never seen before. And the fact that you had access from MTV for millions of people, I mean, it was in a way social media before we knew what social media was.
Right.
So yeah, it was very, very new territory. And every time you were part of something that kind of broke the mold or blew people away around the world, it was a really cool feeling. It was something that I don't know if people experience that anymore, because everything that we have now is, and I don't mean to be negative, but a sense of rehash of a lot that was created in those early days by those major performers. And it'll be nice to see what happens in the future. Hopefully some people become a little more original and iconic again.
Well, to piggyback from Beat It to Thriller, like, yeah. I mean, we're still seeing kids do Thriller dances to this day. It's still as iconic as ever. Like, were you guys standing around in zombie makeup and being like, this is going to be absolutely amazing? Or did it just kind of feel like, I don't know what we're doing, and then you saw the final product and the reaction to it? I'm just curious what you guys thought during Thriller.
Yeah, a little bit of both. The first thing was that, doing Beat It, Michael broke kind of the boundaries and allowed black performers to come onto MTV with Billie Jean. So that wasn't it was dramatic from one sense, but not in another sense. It wasn't the greatest short film ever made. So, but it was interesting. It was a nice introduction to this guy.
Yeah.
So Beat It, we didn't know what was going to happen with that. And we knew it was different. We knew we were making like a mini film, which nobody had ever heard of before. Mm-hmm. So when that got a lot of attention, it kind of blew us all away. And when Thriller came around, the first rehearsal that we had with Michael Jackson, with Michael Peters, who choreographed it, and myself, he came in, he wanted to see what was done, and he was very excited about it. Oh, I love it. I wanted the zombies to be scary, and they are. I love it. Yeah. And then he came in the next day, the second day of rehearsal, in full monster makeup. And he made Michael Peters and myself stand next to him in the mirror and make scary faces for like half an hour. I mean, this guy was wonderful and crazy at the same time. Mm-hmm. So because Beat It was so successful, we kind of had this feeling, and John Landis was brought in, who had just done Werewolf in London, American Werewolf in London. So, he was known and popular at the time. And we thought, man, this is very cool. Nobody's ever done anything like this. And so it was very exciting to be a part of it. And I'll tell you one thing. Michael Jackson, he was an incredible performer. There was something I don't even know how to explain it, somehow supernatural about this guy. Sure. in his performance ability. When you dance next to him, not so much in rehearsals, but when you're performing, something happened to him. It was like someone took possession of him, and you could feel these sparks. And I'm not the only person that said this, but you could feel this stuff coming off his body. I don't even know how to say it. It was just electric. And it made you be even better than what you thought you could do. But he was an incredible person to dance around and to be around for a long time. But so when he left the rehearsal with the dancers, he said to everybody, I remember he was walking out of the room and he said, "Thank you, everybody. We're going to make history." And we did. So yeah, we did.
I was going to say, clearly it's not just in the room with him, it's the product he built, because I think long after the three of us are gone, we're going to see Thriller keep going and going and going. There's something he knew, or you guys knew going into it.
I mean, when you think about it, it sounds crazy, but the reality is it's probably the most danced piece of choreography in all history since the beginning of time. Yep. I mean, more people have done that dance, for the better or worse, than I can ever think of any other dance ever. And nope, nothing classical, nothing modern, nothing. I mean, maybe something that has an ethnic background, like something from the Ukraine, Cossack dancing or something like that. But still, it's territorial. Thriller crossed the boundaries. I mean, you see, well, years ago we saw prisoners in Asia, and then you see people at their dance at their wedding receptions doing it. Yeah, I mean, little kids like you mentioned. You know, it just keeps on going. It keeps on going, and I'm really proud to have been a part of it, man.
It's great.
Yeah.
That kind of goes to another question I had, where what is like the most hindering thing when you're trying to do a dance or choreograph the dance? Is it like makeup? I know you've danced in 4-inch heels. Is it the weather? Is it the floor? Is like one of the most hindering things when you're trying to dance or create a dance to actually do it?
Yeah, you're right.
All of the above. Way to go, Mike.
All of the above, Mike. All of
one for the team.
You know, it's a joy and it's a pain in the ass. I mean, shooting Thriller was not easy. We did it late at night, like 1 and 2 in the morning, you know, and downtown LA. It was freezing cold. They kept watering down the street to make it glimmer on the film, and you know, you kept doing it again and again and again. And I remember people saying, "Man, can't we stop and take a pee?" You know, and John Landis would go, "No, we need to take another take." Yeah. So all of those things combined, you know, every single situation is a different one. And it can be weather, it can be the environment that you're put into to dance. It can be how you're feeling at the time. I mean, you know, you got a gig like this, you might have the worst flu in the world. Thank God COVID wasn't around then. And you still have to do it. I mean, this is the only shot you get. So, yeah, there's many, many things you have to deal with. And it's always a challenge. And, you know, in some way, like everything else, when you accept the challenge and you feel you won, you can pat yourself on the back and go, yeah, I did a great job. So
when did you feel, or maybe it was a big break or something, but when did you feel the transition from, okay, I can dance to I can choreograph and I could, you know, make people dance the way I want and build a show out of it? Like, when did you make that transition from dancer to choreographer?
I think it was not long after Beat It, actually, because what happened was my early life when I went to school, I was an actor and a director, theater, but it had nothing to do with music. It was just real theater. So I knew that I loved directing. Rather than perform, I preferred to be on the other side. Okay. But as I've said, I fell into dancing. And then I thought after a while, how could I be a director? In LA at the time, it was very, very difficult to transition from being a dancer to a director. That was a big leap. A few people were able to do it by using choreography as a stepping stone. And that was my goal. So I did have a little bit of a reason to move into choreography. I loved dancing and I loved performing, but I really liked being on the other side and kind of helping the whole picture come together. That was really my joy. So the funny thing, after Beat It, you know, I looked like this gang guy and I looked like a rock and roll gang guy. So I started getting calls from all these heavy duty rock and rollers because everybody wanted to dance now. You know, Van Halen wanted to dance. David Lee Roth wanted to dance. All of them. Slash. You do something where I can move around, man, you know? So and then I would show up and I looked I'm an old man now, but I looked kind of like this, you know, with light hair and blue eyes. And they're like,
where's the rocker guy?
We wanted that guy from Beat It, you know? I'm like, no, man, that was me. It's me. So it started that way, that these small little gigs that I did, Hot for Teacher and things like this, and I began to have a good time and loving it. And then pretty soon after that, Michael Jackson contacted me and asked me to come down to a studio in Hollywood and listen to a little bit of a song that he had created called Smooth Criminal. And he had a couple lyrics. He had most of the music done and he played it for me. And I said, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to dance in it? And he goes, no, man, I want you to conceive it. I want you to come up with an idea. I want you to choreograph it. And I want you to direct it. And I was like, what the, you know, I mean.
So he must have had a connection with you from working with you. You must have really seen something in you.
Well, also, you know, he was the kind of man that it's hard to understand, even for me, being part of that world, to understand that kind of fame, to understand that many people wanting so much from you. And having had the really cool opportunity to be the assistant choreographer, your job is to first you learn the choreography without anybody there. Then you bring people in, whether it's the star or the dancers, and you work with the choreographer showing it to them. Then the choreographer kind of leaves the room for a while, and it's up to you to take that sketch of the work or detail of the work and make it absolutely perfect, specific, clean, so that everybody is giving the choreographer exactly what they demanded. So having been the assistant on both Beat It and Thriller, I got to spend some nice, intimate one-on-one time with MJ. And he was so shy. I mean, unbelievably shy, but a really sweet guy. And he loved to work hard, and we loved to laugh, and he loved to tell jokes. And so he and I had this kind of personal, friendly relationship. He knew I didn't want anything from him. I was making no demands. I was just sharing my knowledge with him and helping him be as best as he could be. And I think he really appreciated that. I was really shocked that he asked me to do something for a song, and he had done nothing with me other than me being an assistant choreographer and a dancer. I was really shocked, but of course I was blown away and ultimately thrilled. And the fact that he not only gave me just the original song that he had 4 minutes, but he was recording an album, and he said, put it together for me. Now, what happened was we first started doing it, and then everything stopped for a while because they decided this was such an cool idea that they were going to make it into Moonwalker. When Moonwalker, because it became a segment in Moonwalker, I didn't have the opportunity to direct it. Okay. But I created it, and he was doing his album, so he gave me a video camera, and I shot everything that I was doing, and I would go to his house, and I would meet with him. And this was the cool part. He'd go, oh, I love it, man. I really love it. But I think you need more dancers, don't you? And I'd be, yeah, man, I'll take some more dancers. Right. Go get 15 more dancers, man. So I did. And then he'd say, I'd come back and show him some stuff. And he goes, yeah, this is really good. I think you need some more music, don't you? Yeah, Mike, sure. I'll take more music. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I love what you're doing, but I think we need a second story on that set, don't you? Yeah, Mike, sure. Yeah. So when you're dealing with a place where the blank check and you're given all these things, and the only thing that's asked of you is create something that the world has never seen before, man, as an artist, there's nothing more that you can ask for.
That's awesome.
So it was a total joy. And that was my transition. Smooth Criminal was my transition into choreography. So that was a pretty amazing job.
Yeah. And you created something never seen before with the Michael Jackson lean in that video, man. Mm-hmm. It's iconic, man.
Thank you, man. I just saw a billboard for his movie, and billboard is Michael Jackson as Smooth Criminal, leaning and coming back up and leaning and coming back
that's awesome.
and also the other fun things, like he loved that kind of stuff. He loved crazy animated things and weird stuff. So when I came up with the idea of flipping the coin at the beginning and having it go across the room and land in the jukebox for the music to start, he was like, yeah, man, I love that. Then he chimed in. The only thing that he really donated, besides his amazing talent, was he loved weird stuff. So he wanted the thing to happen when he goes up onto the second platform and he shoots the guy and he goes back into the wall, the animated, and fizzles apart, But it was crazy. It was crazy. You get to work with people like that, and you can just let your imagination run wild. And if they like it, and he always liked everything I presented, it always happens. So can't ask for more as a creator.
Yeah. And for our audience, if you are loving these stories, we have a book here, Icons and Instincts from Vincent Paterson, where he goes into details on these stories, along with Madonna and all bigger names throughout all of the 80s, 90s, and everything through there. And I'm halfway through the book, not all the way through. No spoilers. Like if you die at the end, don't tell me.
Now, you should be proud of Mike. That's the first book he read in 15 years.
Oh, Mike.
Likely.
Well, there's I've been
That
told,
reaction. Oh, Mike.
I think that's so sweet. Oh,
Ratings
Mike.
hard.
It wasn't something I planned on doing,
Mhm.
but it just happened. There was a series of circumstances. There was a movie, a Swedish film company did a documentary about me, and it was shown at Los Angeles County Museum of Art. And there was a woman in the audience, and she was a writer, and she came up and said, "Hey, you should write a book." I said, I don't write. And she said, "Well, first of all, you're a choreographer, so you write," which is definitely true. We write with physicality because you get a script and it says, "and then they danced." So, you got to come up with the entire idea. So you're writing the shit. So I said, well, she said, "Did you ever write anything?" I said, some journals once in a while when I was on these gigs. She said, "Can I read something?" I said, "Sure." So I gave it to her to read. And she called me back a couple of days later and said, "You're going to write a book." I said, "I'm only going to do it if you help me." So it was a lot of pieces of memories and journals that I had already done. And what I really like about it, two things that make me happy with it. I mean, it's not a major success. It's a book and they don't really sell these days. But one thing is that people say that when they read it, they feel like I'm sitting across the table from them and the way that I write it, and it's very easy to read. So that makes me real happy because I'm a book reader and I hate it when I got to like look up vocabulary every 3 pages or something like that. I just like to move along with what's being written. The other thing is that I've had some really powerful responses from people around the world. I mean, from on one hand, a young woman wrote me from Iran. She said she had the book smuggled in because she was a Michael Jackson fan.
Oh my God.
And she said that the book was so inspiring to her that she left Iran. She was leaving Iran. She was leaving the country so that she could fulfill her life as an artist. That was one of the beautiful things. I've had a couple things from like older gay guys who told me after reading my book that they wanted to let me know that when they were younger, they didn't have any friends, their parents deserted them. But what they did do that made them feel worthwhile, and in many cases let them live, was that they would go into the basement or into their bedrooms and they would turn on the music videos of the stuff I had choreographed and learn the choreography, and it made them feel like somebody. Wow. What's better in the world than that? What is better in the world than that? Helping other people out. So those kind of things, that was worth the book. That was worth writing the book for me. So I hope if any of your readers pay attention and enjoy it and like it, let me know. I'm on Instagram, VLPLA, and I'd love to hear from you. So what about you, Scott? Did you read the book?
I did not read the book. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, it is right here, though. It is right behind me.
Him.
It is right behind me.
I'm in the lead, Scott.
I'm not lying. It is on the list of guests. These are all books from former guests on the show. So I have a couple to read here.
Yeah.
So I guess another question, as you talk about in the books, a lot of the like kind of fighting you have to do with like personalities, with other movie directors and stuff like that. Was there ever a time where you were almost to the point where it's just like, all right, I give up. This is crazy. I know my capabilities, but I can't keep on fighting these people, trying to show them I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, a couple times. I've been very fortunate in those. Those times are few and far between, I had a bit of a run-in with Hal Prince, the famous Hal Prince. I was choreographing the Kiss of the Spider Woman for Broadway. And I don't know, he was just a very, very strange man. And he actually said some words to me that really threw me for a loop. And I basically told him, with all due respect, Mr. Prince, you are an incredible artist and you've done some of the most important art on Broadway that we've ever known. I said, but I have to tell you that probably more people in the world have seen my work than all of your work combined. And basically the fire just shot out of his ear. So that was one. The other one was, I don't know, I mean, as a choreographer, I guess Alan Parker doing Evita was a bit troubling, but that was really not me in a way. He was a little bit jealous of Madonna's and my relationship, which he had fabricated. I never try to be close to any of the celebrities I work with, other than cordial and enjoy each other's company. But I don't like hunt them down to go have dinner together or let's go to the bar or any of that stuff. So he just saw I'd already done many projects with Madonna, including the Blonde Ambition tour, Pepsi commercials, videos, Academy Awards. And, so we had a bit of a friendship, a working friendship. And she is not always that friendly with everybody. And I think he was quite jealous. And he told me a situation arose where he cast a guy and he was supposed to do an entire dance with Madonna, an Argentine tango, which is one of the hardest dances to do. I mean, it's very complicated.
Yeah, you know that, Mike.
Yeah.
You've done it
Of
before.
all the dances I studied, that was the hardest.
The Argentine tango is the hardest one.
Yeah.
I know.
The Chilean one, that's a piece of cake.
Maybe you've been kicked in the shins. You kicked the girl in the shins. I'm sure, but that's practice. Practice makes perfect, Mike. Don't stay away from the dance floor because that. Get back on there, man. Keep it going. Anyway, so he just got a little jealous and said, he had hired this guy, and I told him the guy didn't work. The guy didn't even know how to count to music, and he said, "Well, I hired him because he had a good CV." And I said, "Well, what exactly did he do?" "Well, he was a stage manager." I said, "Alan, he's a stage manager. How could you cast him as the guy dancing opposite Madonna?" So anyway.
Yeah.
He thought I was trying to mess things up for him. And I basically said, "Listen, you got a couple more weeks before you start shooting. If you don't think I'm the guy for this job, then I'm out of here because I don't need this and you don't need me." But then it was nice. I mean, he instantly turned around and said, "I'm so sorry. I apologize. I love what you're doing and please stay with us." And I did. And we had a good time to the rest of the film. But mostly everybody I've worked with has been really, really kind, really nice. Mike Nichols, Lars von Trier, great people. Steven Spielberg, all good people.
I have a funny story. We did an interview the other day with someone in the special effects world. And I realized that I made this mistake, and I asked him, I was like, "So you worked on the birdcage?" And he's like, "No, I didn't." And I realized I was kind of crossing the two guests that I was researching, like for some questions. and then until like this week, I realized why I made that mistake, because it was you who worked on the birdcage.
Yeah, I did.
So that's my stupidity there. But my question I did have about that, like, what is that like when you take like, you make professional actors kind of look like they're trying, like, or they're trying to be like drag superstars. Like, how do you choreograph people who are like world-class actors to make them almost look amateur-y and the way the birdcage was done? I'm curious your experience on that.
Well, the first thing I do is I kind of study that person physically, watch how they physically move. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I don't create choreography that just makes me happy. I have to be sure that it makes the person look good, whatever they're doing. I mean, even if they're supposed to look bad, I need to make it happen so that they feel good about looking bad. But that's it. It's pretty simple. And a lot of people have a fear, a lot of actors, or they have a fear of dancing or moving or coming in with a choreographer that they might speak just dance talk or something. But, having had that background as a director and working with actors, I have that knowledge already. So I try to always make things easy for them, simple for them, start out very, very simple, see what they can do. And if they're really into it, like, for instance, Björk in Dancer in the Dark, this film I did with her, at first I didn't know she could move at all. I said she moved like a Teletubby, but she was so open to wanting to learn more and do more that, that's what you crave. I mean, you want somebody who really is open and not afraid to venture into new territory. And that's the real fun part. But in Birdcage, it was like that, I'd worked with Robin. I directed Robin in a couple projects before and worked with him for a couple of years on other projects. And he was always so great. And that one crazy scene there that,
I was just saying, I would love to be a fly on the wall watching you work with these brains, man. These legends in that movie. There's so much there, like in that cast.
it's fun.
Yep.
It was really fun. It really was, man. It was great. It was great. But that one little crazy scene in Birdcage with him was, he came up to me. We knew each other fairly well by then, and he came up to me and said, he pulled me aside on a break. And he said, Vince, I'm just so tired of playing the straight gay man. He goes, I need to do something funny. I'm not funny. Nathan's funny. I'm not funny. Give me something funny. So I said, okay, give me 15 minutes. I'm going to go behind the set. I'm going to figure something out. And then on the next break, come and learn it. So he came and he learned it. And we went back, and the first time we did it, he just threw it out there. Well, they couldn't keep the take because everybody started laughing. They thought he was doing improv stuff,
Yeah.
and because he was so good at it. And then when we finished that, Mike Nichols said, "Oh, that was very good, Robin. That was very funny, Robin." And he goes, "No, Vince put that together for me." And he goes, "Well, that was very funny, boys. I really appreciate it. But let's do the script like Elaine wrote it." So Robin got down on his hands and knees and crawled across the floor to Mike and pulled on his pant legs. He was sitting down in his record chair, and he said, "Oh, please, let's shoot it again. Please, Mike." And Mike said, "All right, look, we're going to shoot it the way Elaine wrote it. And then we'll shoot it a couple times like this. But I don't want you to be disappointed if it's not going to be in the final cut." And we were like, "Okay, that's fine." Well, the funny thing is, I think I might be speaking out of turn, but so many people, you say the Birdcage, and the first thing they do is go, Fosse, Michael
100%.
Kidd.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy, it's absolutely crazy. You have no idea when you do some of this stuff, what's going to pick up, what's not going to pick up, what's going to hit people the right way. That there were a lot of little moments in that film that just did that. I mean, please, Gene coming out at the end and drag, that was just a frightening image. And fun as hell to do,
Yeah, man. That's such a crazy cast. Like,
oh man,
amazing.
Oh man. And I was there from the beginning. This was the cool thing about Mike Nichols. He really liked the work I had done, and he said, Liz, I just want you to hear from the very beginning, from the first table read. So I got to sit there with all these amazing actors, the first table read. And this was something brilliant that I learned from Mike Nichols as a director. I talk about it in the book, but the first take, the first read, everybody tried to make everybody else laugh. And we all did. It was hysterical. Every line was a laugh. It didn't matter. They were all going for the laughs. We took a little break, had a cup of coffee. We came back and Mike said, "That was terrific, everybody. That was just terrific. But let's do the next one in close up." All of a sudden, you saw the movie in front of your eyes. That little tiny direction. Let's do it in close up. Everybody pulled back and did it for real. And it was absolutely sensational. So that was a real treat. Most choreographers never get that opportunity to be there from the beginning.
That's
but
great.
He was a great man, and he respected me and I respected him, and he trusted my judgment. And oh man, he was a hero to me. Yeah.
With all that you've added to movies and tours and items like that, like I've been listening in different interviews. I found it fascinating how you talked about for the longest time, like you create a dance, you don't own it, anybody could steal it. Can you kind of talk about like your work you've done with the choreography world, specifically the union, and kind of help people get more from their work?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Mike. If you are a choreographer on Broadway, the union rules allow you to own that piece of choreography. Nobody else can do it. If somebody else wants to recreate a show and do totally new choreography, that's another story. But if they want to recreate a show and do your choreography originally, you're going to get paid if you're not even brought in to do it, but you're still going to get paid. You're going to get residuals and you're going to get credit. Out here on the West Coast, things are a little bit different. I live in LA. In the film world, prior to 2.5 years ago, there were no unions for choreographers. So every choreographer who worked on film, commercials, television shows, videos, pop tours, you had to sign a waiver, a contract that said, it was called a work for hire, meaning anything that you created, they pay you and they own it. And that means they can do whatever they want with it. They can give you credit. They can not give you credit. They can give it to somebody else to use if they want and charge them money to pay for it. You never see a penny, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I started fighting with a group of people. I'll say fighting, that's a good word. I started fighting in the 80s when all of this started happening with MTV and there were no unions. And on the bottom of every video, even these huge short films that Michael Jackson did or Madonna projects or any of them, you would see artist name, label name, and director's name. Mm-hmm. You never saw choreographer's name ever. So this group of us started getting together and to see what we could do, to see if we could change this. We never really were able to do too much, but the momentum was always bubbling beneath the surface. And as dance and choreography became more popular, I mean, the TV shows, So You Think You Can Dance, Dancing with the Stars, all these started to take off with millions and millions of viewers. Things started changing a little bit, and choreographers started to have a little more weight. They were given a little bit, agents were able to negotiate higher prices. Agents were able to negotiate credit often. And when these things happened, choreographers began to have a little bit more validity. So during COVID, there was a younger group of choreographers in their 30s, 20s, 30s who started to have a little, online sessions complaining about this. And what can we do about this? So someone told me about it, and they knew that I'd been involved since the 80s and asked me if I would jump on board, and I did. And collectively, we created what's called the Choreographers Guild. Now, we're still in the area of acquiring new members. I think there's close to 1,000 now, and which is great for a small group of people just pulling it together ourselves. But we haven't had any signatures yet with the major unions that deal with directors and film production. But this is slowly beginning to happen. There's, if you are an actor for television or movies or anything like this, there's a union called SAG, Screen Actors Guild. Yep. And we are now slowly in conversation with them about the possibility of maybe choreographers being able to come under their umbrella somehow.
That would be great.
Eventually, it would not only give you a minimum wage, but things that everybody get on the set, like a chair, a place to sit down. I mean, it sounds stupid, but, oftentimes you're there and you're on your feet all day and there's not even a chair for you to sit in, credit, pension, health, and welfare, all these residuals possibly. So this is what we're working towards. The same thing that everybody else on the set, on a major film set gets. We are the only ones who never have had it. So credit, yes, but nothing else. So yeah, but thanks for asking, because that's really important. So it's called the Choreographers Guild, and we're now really going into our third year with the president and the board and all of that, and it's really gaining momentum. Yeah, it's a good thing.
That's really awesome. Yeah, actually, it's funny that it's taken this long to even come up with that idea and a group. It's amazing. It feels like it should have been in place a long time ago. So,
it's the same with the Academy Awards. I mean, there's no category for choreographers. I mean, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, they never got an Academy Award. Bob Fosse for Cabaret. I mean, you won every other Oscar it possibly could have received, but there was nothing for choreography. So this is something else that I'm really working hard to do. I've been a member of the Academy since 2001, and I'm trying to get more choreographers into the union, which is quite difficult, but there's a lot of red tape and difficult ways to get in there. But we've gone from just me, and in the last 4 years, now there are 6 choreographers. So that's a big jump, in the last couple of years. And I think it's because there's a lot of huge blockbuster money-making films that have choreography in them, and they have to start to respect that, so.
I think you guys need to do some kind of flash mob at one of these award shows, all of you together, and it would be the greatest, the greatest combined effort.
You're
Make
right.
sure you got a good bid. Don't go down there and do the Urkel. That'd be
Well,
weird.
come on out and do it with us, man.
You send me an invite, I'm coming down. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll do the Argentinian hustle or whatever the name of that dance was.
Tango. Come on, Scott.
Tango. He's a tango connoisseur, man.
Vincent, my last question for you, this has been awesome. Thank you. My last question for you is, you worked with the biggest pop stars, the biggest artists, the biggest actors. I'm curious, as you look at the landscape today, whether it's an actor, whether it's a musician or whatever, is there someone that like stands out to you, like they just got it, man? Like, and that's someone I would love to work with. Like, they remind you of some of these greats that you've worked with?
In the music world, the only person that really excites me, but I'm kind of past that stage now, unless it has something to do with directing, is Lady Gaga.
Yep.
And fortunately, she called my agents one time for me to do a gig with her. She was doing a tribute to David Bowie. I think it was on maybe it was on the Grammys or something. I can't remember, but and I was working in Europe at the time, and I never got another call. But that's somebody I would, I really
makes sense.
The funny part was she started in a way mimicking a lot of the things I had done with Madonna. So I knew that she was aware of me and aware of my work. But I always wanted to do. I think she's very inventive. I think she's very talented. I think she's
so
very
too.
great. I would still go and play with Madonna, but she likes to play with the young boys now. So, and they're very talented young boys. They're very talented. There's this kid, Damien Jallet, who's he's unbelievable. He lives in Belgium, and he's been doing a lot of her stuff, really out there stuff, really crazy shit. And I really have a lot of respect for him. But those two, I think those two are, really still at the top of my list.
That's awesome.
People I like to work with. Actors, there's so many actors.
Sure. Yeah.
So many great people out there. So that's a cool question.
Vincent, I feel like we barely even scratched the surface tonight, and all. It's been really fun chatting with you, hearing about your life and everything that you got to do, and we really appreciate your time. If people want to find you, find your book, anything promoting, where are the best places to go?
Well, the book, Icons and Instincts, they can get on Amazon. I'm proud to say that it's in French and English and European Spanish, which I just realized is different than Latin American Spanish because they came to me to print it out, and Portuguese. So it's now awesome. 5 languages, which is very cool, and all available pretty much on Amazon. Or if people happen to be listening from South America, IG me and I'll give you those links. That's kind of it. As I said, I'm VLPLA on Instagram and on Facebook. Vincent Paterson with 1 T in my last name, like New Jersey. And and that's it. You guys, this was really fun. Awesome. I mean, you're both so cool and you're both relaxed, and it's really, really, really nice. I really enjoyed this, and I'm really honored that you asked me to be part of it. So thank you very much.
Please, we're honored for you to come on the show.
It's our pleasure. One final question for me. Considering every year the Super Bowl halftime show is quote unquote the worst Super Bowl halftime show in history,
every year.
Aren't you glad you got yours done early where they respected you?
Oh, baby, I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to change the face of halftime shows. You know what I mean? If you remember from before, you guys are probably kids, you didn't remember, but it was drum and bugle corps,
drum
around with waving flags, and it was that
marching band,
Michael Jackson, that we changed it all. The same thing with the Blonde Ambition tour. I mean, directing and choreographing that for Madonna, we got to change the face of pop tours. Before that, except for very rarely, it was just singers and a band, a little bit of visuals in the background. Every once in a while, maybe a singer, but not so, a dancer, like Bowie did one tour like that. But with Madonna and I, we broke the mold. And so, I'm really proud and grateful to have had, especially those two opportunities to change. We changed history. That's great, man. Can't ask for more than that. So
no. And then you ended up here.
Yeah.
And then I'm here. I mean,
With the greatest
where do I go after
Argentinian.
this? Where do I go after this?
Yeah.
It's only down. It's only
You talk to the greatest Argentinian tango dancer of all time. You might as well retire now.
I know. I'm going to fly to you to get some tango lessons, Mike.
Dang right.
That's
Dang right. If you want Argentinian tango lessons, you head down to Douglasville, Georgia. That is a well-known fact.
On my way.
Yeah.
On my way.
Vincent, it's been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck with any of your future endeavors, and please keep in touch. We'd love to chat with you again one day.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Vincent,
both.
this was great, man. Mike, Vincent Paterson, fantastic interview. I kind of wish we had him on, like we did the interview like this week. I'm curious what his what he thought about the Michael movie that's out there, and if it represented him well, and even if on Thriller, if someone played him or not. I'm it'd be kind of interesting to hear that perspective.
Yeah, I'd be curious about that because he was good friends with them. I would definitely say to people, go out and get the book. I won't spoil anything in the book for him, but there's a section he brings up the phrase ocean spray. It'll be worth reading that piece right there. I won't spoil it.
It's not something that goes up the rectum, right?
I'm guessing not, but there's still non-PG-13 items going on in ocean spray.
Yep.
So read the book and find out for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome. I did a show the other day. I did two shows. I did one, which is this baseball fundraiser that I've done for the last 10 years or so. Great crowd. You can't ask for any better. They're like the right kind of rowdy. It's set up the right way. They pay me like the right amount, right on time. Like everything is just works clockwork. It's always a great crowd. Great show. Fantastic. Then the next week, I have a show at a Firemen's Hall. And I've had a lot of fun experiences at Firemen's Hall. Usually firemen are much more fun
Loose
crowd, than a cop crowd. Sometimes the cops, you get some of this alpha energy that I don't want to laugh at you kind of thing. Firemen are a little bit more like loose and kind of just drunk and fun. But it was a beefsteak. Okay, now I've done a couple of those too, and they could bring a certain level of drunk to them. Now,
Okay.
a little bit of drunk is okay at a comedy show. A lot of bit of drunk, not very good at a comedy show. So I got hired. The guy asked me if we could use my sound and lights and stuff. I said sure. I walk in and immediately you just hear that energy that's people talking real loud, and there's 200 and I think they said it was 225 in there, and there's nowhere to go. There's just nothing. It is jam-packed.
They were pre-gaming before this beefsteak.
Yes, they were all drinking, and beer line was through the whole room. And I walk in, and I'm like, oh boy, okay, this is right. I'm like, all right, whatever. Rowdy's fine, And I'm like, where do you guys know where you want the stage or where you want the lights and where the comics mean? They're like, oh, yeah, I think it's going to be over there. And I'm like, look over there. And where they wanted the comics was all the door prizes. So all the prizes that people are putting in raffle tickets for. Some people were getting up constantly to drop tickets. There is the bathroom right there, the one bathroom in the whole place. So
Best place for comedy.
Yep. And then the beer line was right in front of where we wanted to. And instantly I'm like, that's just not going to work. That is a terrible idea. You're going to have 200 drunk people and you're going to tell them to pay attention to a weird corner of the room. And you go in and nobody, they're not a helpful group. They're I don't know, ask Jim over there. He'll tell you what to do. You find Jim. Jim's like, we're putting it over there. So we're like, okay. and like we're like, can you move like the prizes? Can you redirect the beer line to go the other way so it's not in front of the stage and whatnot? And they're like, oh, I don't know. So the other thing was that all the tables in the room, so if the stage is facing straight, all the tables were going horizontally, meaning every table in the room, one whole group would have to turn around. Okay, so you have half the room facing nowhere near you. Okay, so immediately in my head, I'm like, this is a hell gig. And at some point, like time's starting to tick. We're supposed to start at, I don't know what time it was. Maybe we were supposed to start at 8 or something like that. And 7:45 comes around. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to start setting up over there. And we start setting it up, and there's just people everywhere. And I'm noticing like there's not much beef being served. Like they were supposed to eat like well before this, and it's like,
okay,
you're like, I'm there. You can't start the show while people are making bread towers and sucking down beef and screaming and getting beer. Like you has to be like dinner and then a show kind of thing. Like,
yeah, don't ration the beef before the show.
Yeah. And so they're like, yeah, we're going to start a little late, maybe 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, whatever. That's normal. Like, starts late. 20 minutes goes by. I start to dim the lights because like it's like a nonverbal cue to say the show's going to start soon. Like,
yeah,
I do it at like a lot of shows. If they have multiple lights, I'll start to turn them off slowly. Like maybe I'll hit 2, wait another 5 minutes, hit another 2. It's like, oh, show's starting kind of vibe. I go to turn the lights off. Some old cop, some old fireman in the back's like, you ain't starting anytime soon. Like, we're barely done serving. And I'm like, and I, the way he said it, I was just freaking pissed immediately. I was like I literally said to him, I said, all right, I could take this stuff home. I really don't care. Like, I can go home. And, like, and the guy running the show, the other comic was like, oh, I'll talk to him.
Was he considered a legend, this guy? Was he like a part of the Great Chicago Fire back in the 50s that we know of? Or
I have no idea. The only thing I can tell you is that he was drunk and he was a douchebag. That's what I can tell you. That's the fact.
That doesn't narrow down much with me. So.
Yeah. So another half hour goes by. And meanwhile, I'm like, this was supposed to be like an early show. I would have been out of here already. Like, or just the show would have been just about over. We're just starting. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm hosting. So I guess I'm going to go eat a big fat one, first.
Beef steak.
Yeah. So we do the introduction and I get up there. And it takes a good minute and a half, 2 minutes to even get the room like somewhat focused and quiet down. Like that might not sound like a lot to people who don't really have an experience coming. Once you just like count for 2 minutes to yourself while you're on stage and feel how long that is as people are like, like just getting beers and screaming and still sitting down and going to take their final piss and but I will say somewhere around like the 4-minute mark I got them. Like I don't know what happened. I got them and they started really being pretty good for a little while. I mean, they're yelling still and they're still calling up, but they're like laughing. Okay. And I'm messing with this old guy in the front. He's a good sport. Okay. He's a good sport. And I'm messing with him. And I'm doing like 15, 20 minutes and 15 minutes go by and he gets up to like have to go pee. And so of course I'm messing with him and I'm like, all right, buddy, like use your legs, work that old prostate of yours, and like gets a good laugh and he laughs. So I'm literally getting, I get the light and I'm getting to my last joke and he's coming back from the bathroom. And he just comes on stage with me and he's just like, I guess like when I was messing with him, like he thought like it was almost his, and he like, I'm like, oh, so I lean into it. I'm like, oh, hey buddy. I'm like joking around, like your next comic tonight. And like thinking he would be like, haha. And go, no. He puts his arm around me and like has that old fireman strength and like pulls me in and like takes the microphone from me and kind of and I'm like pulling it, trying to fight with him kind of. And he's just like, he goes on to like mumble some like it was like, I don't know, some old street joke about his relationship or something like, oh, she can't hear. And like everyone laughs. And I'm just like, I was in the middle of a bit and I was just like, all right. And the guy running the show was like, no, get him off. Cause he was going next. He was headlining that night and he knew where this was going. I'm like, all right, come up. So this terrible, what should have been a terrible set turned out to be probably the best I can do in that situation. I got off the stage. I was like, all right, that could have been worse. I mean, the show started late. The crowd was unruly. The setup was terrible. I had a good show. I had an old man join me on stage. And then the feature goes on. Ooh, boy.
Well, before we get to that, just out of curiosity, so like when he's like grabbing you, are you like concerned? Is it like, oh, this is, if a fire broke out, he could save me any day of the week, or what are the feelings going through this as like a grown man is basically one arming another grown man and put him in this spot?
There's like a little apprehension, like, oh man, like what is this guy doing? Like, because when you're performing and you let the audience start talking, okay, it can get out of control really quick. So never mind when you allow the audience to come be part of the show. That opens up like, oh, Jim Bob, you come on up here. You tell that joke you told in the firehouse yesterday. It was so funny. And like, but the guy, I liked the guy. And it wasn't like a threatening thing, but it was it was also like, I even said on the microphone afterward, I'm like, please sit the F down. And everyone's laughing. I'm like, you're a scary dude. And he was pretty cool. But then the feature went up and he's doing 25 minutes. He gets them with the first joke. And I'm like, all right, the show is rolling. And that's where it stopped after the first joke. He ate it so hard for like 23 minutes straight. He's like, he's just like doing material and people just erupt into conversation. People are getting up and going to get beer during his set. I went to go get a beer. I was waiting, so I was kind of near the beer line, and they are just yelling like it's a bar on a Monday night football night. It's so bad. It was like you felt for the guy. I was like, oh my God.
Now, is this a comedian that's like a vet and stuff like that? Or is it just like a... Okay.
This is a comic, good guy. This is a comic who's been doing it probably 20 years. He's been in a couple like movies and TV shows. I think that's more his lane. He does comedy, but you could tell his material is like, it's like that early 90s, 80s kind of material. Like, it's kind of, set up punch. Like there's no real like person. It's not really personal.
There's no meat on that beefsteak.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, headliner goes up. He did okay, but they are just so rowdy. But it's just I say this all the time when I tell you stories of like disaster shows. Like I don't like comedy is just it could be the easiest thing to set up, but it is always messed up so bad. It is the retirement communities with the dance floor, keeping the dance floor with no tables on it, so there's a big gap. It's the bars with the football game on, or they put a show in a bar, and it's like there's no private room for this. Like you can't stick comedy in a corner like an acoustic guitar player. You have to have a private area for it.
Yeah, that reminds me of the time like when I was at my tail end when I was doing stand up. I remember I went with a comedian we knew. We went somewhere. I think this was like after I got let go from my job or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, come with me. We'll go to this comedy gig I'm doing." And I was there, and another comedian was there, just kind of like just seeing the setup and stuff like that. Me and him weren't on like the docket, and the guy who's running the show comes up. And he's like, "Hey, somebody can't make it, and all.
You want to do a spot?
You want to do a spot?" Actually, I do remember it was by my birthday, actually, and the reason I remember that was the other comedian asked me, he's like, well, it's near your birthday, so it's your call if you want to go tonight. And I saw the setup.
Mhm.
It's just like a mic in front of the bar, and the bar is everybody seating the opposite direction with TVs all around. And this was a time when I was burnt out with the job. I was somewhat burnt out with comedy. And I'm just like, you know what? It's yours. And I could tell the guy gave me a look like, holy crap, I'd never thought in a billion years you were going to say no to the spot.
Yep.
And everybody involved, and this was during the World Series. So everybody was watching the World Series as people are just like doing their bits, and it was such a complete
Was there any chance that I was at this show?
No, you weren't at this
because
show.
I had a very similar experience. It was like the World Series, and we're trying to tokes, and people are like trying to have a drink and watch the game after work. It's like there's nothing worse. But
yeah, I mean, I'm sending you like the comedian who ran it. I forget it was off of like Route 130. It's not the one run by another guy, but it was a different one. But needless to say, I lucked out because it was like, okay, you get the next one, and the next one they put it in the back room, and people were actually there to watch the comedy, and I had a decent set. It was one of my last decent sets, and all. And as you point back to me, that show, I've done that show before too, what you're talking about. Yeah, and that's a hard one to get across, that one. And that's the one by the train tracks, if I recall.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, anyway, like, yeah, it is. So people, if you want to run a comedy show, or I could gladly help you out. I've done it a lot. But just maybe listen to the producer or the comic. Or if you are a producer and you're just trying to get into this, figure something out with the room first before you just say yes to everything. Not every place is meant for this. You have to have some kind of cutoff from people eating and drinking to people who are on a show. Like it doesn't really work like that.
Simple rules to like, one, stage has got to be prominent with the seats staring at the stage.
Mm-hmm.
2, can't be major gaps between the stage and said audience. 3, nobody likes a surprise comedy show. Don't think and all that. It's like, oh, this is a wonderful ha-ha moment. If people are going into a restaurant and they didn't know a comedy show was going to be there, 9 times out of 10, they are not there to laugh at your jokes.
I think I told the story on the podcast, but me and my friend Mike Sicoli got hired to do a Christmas party, and they're like, "Yeah, can you come and it's part of our Christmas party. We'll do a little comedy, like a half hour or something. And can you make fun of the manager a little bit? We're like, okay, whatever." The pay was actually pretty good, and we show up. It was their Christmas party. All the employees want to dance and drink and blow some steam off, and they're like, and you guys are over there in that corner, and it was like a little stage with a couple chairs while the whole room, this was a massive room, and like the food was out there and the bar. It was such a bomb fest. Like that may have been the worst gig I've ever done. So
I remember when Six Flags Great Adventure had a concert series, and I would go there, and I think it was the Beach Boys playing at Six Flags, and then the MC's up there, and who's getting ready, who's excited. Are you all ready to see the Beach Boys? Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But first, and they introduce a comedian, and I never felt so bad for a human being in my life, because there was zero possibility this guy, he could have been like the next Rodney Dangerfield, and there was no prayer in that moment. He had to do 20, and it was that poor gentleman.
Yeah. I've done a lot of stinkers. This one I can't put it as the worst ever because my personal set was pretty good. I've done a lot where my personal set has been really bad, and the setup's been really bad. So just a little word of advice for people getting into this lovely art form here.
Oh yeah, don't do a comedy show before a male review on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's not that didn't.
I don't think we have a story about that, but I'll just throw that one out there.
Yeah, I had one more thing, but I'll save it for next week. That's it, guys. We'll kind of wrap it here. We figured we did enough anus talk today, so you have to digest that a little bit. Yeah, never enough.
I want to be the CNN of anus talk 24/7, 365, like nonstop. You wake up 4 a.m. thinking, I can't go back to sleep. Maybe if I hear some,
I think that's a good
stuff.
idea. You should live stream on YouTube and just have like be tapped into reports around the world of like, oh, this just in, a man from Russia.
Breaking news in India.
Yeah.
What's the latest?
A pineapple has been inserted. Well,
I have a round table to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh God. Anyway, Mike, anything to promote before we get out of here?
I will promote again, as I did last week, the home of the Sparrows 2026 golf outing, June 1st at the Waynesboro Country Club in Pennsylvania. They are looking for sponsorship, foursomes, individuals for the event. It is being hosted by Phillies legend Tommy Green. A lot of excitement in this event. I know it's always a good time. Maybe the Heckle Hole will make a special appearance on there. Who knows? But home of the Sparrows 2026 golf outing, Waynesboro County Club. Go to homeofthesparrow.org for more information.
And I will also promote the same thing as last week, just because it's been such a wild ride as far as social media. But go to the Heckle Hole. Okay, the Heckle Hole is me and my good friend Ryan Patrick. We've just been putting out a couple of videos, and they've been exploding, and hopefully it opens up some interesting opportunities for us. Who knows? But hopefully you enjoy these little 1-minute golf roasts. You've seen them before, but this is our own personal take. People seem to be digging them. And as far as the podcast, we've got some cool stuff coming down the line. We booked another 3 or 4 guests this last week or so that I think people will be interested in. I certainly am. So other than that, guys, please keep following, liking, sharing, listening, whatever it is, and go check out our playlist on Spotify. That's a pretty cool one to promote too. That's all the musicians that have been on the show. Look up the music of Verbal Shenanigans. That's it, guys. Life is funny. Laugh at it. Keep the wind at your back.
And remember, we love you all. You make the show. It's not ain't me, it's ain't us.
Stick it up your ass.